Cam Hayward seeking a new contract from the Pittsburgh Steelers isn't a recent development, he revealed Monday afternoon. And he's prepared to continue his hold-in negotiation tactic into the regular season, if necessary. Hayward didn't discount sitting out games in the regular season when he spoke with reporters for the first time since his request for a new deal became public Thursday. The season begins September 7th at the New York Jets. "I think there are definitely options out there that could reflect that," Hayward said. The 36-year-old defensive tackle hasn't practiced with teammates since the first week of training camp. His workout sessions have been limited to individual work, similar to the hold-in he did in 2020 when he was seeking a new contract. That 4-year contract averaged $16.4 million in salary. When his contract was extended last summer, the average value dropped to $14.5 million on the 2-year extension that Hayward received. Now, coming off a season in which he was named a first-team All-Pro defensive tackle for the first time since 2021, Hayward is seeking a bump in pay. Hayward is making $14.75 million this season, with $13.45 million already having been paid in the form of a roster bonus. His base salary is $1.3 million. He said Monday that his agent first approached the organization about reworking his contract in February at the NFL Combine. "I'm honestly looking to be valued," Hayward said. "When I look around and at my position, I think I'm 22nd as a D tackle and 36th as a D lineman. I know what I bring to this team and what I'm capable of on and off the field. So it's hard for me after that year I've had to justify the number I'm playing at." The Steelers typically wait until a player enters the final year of his contract before engaging in negotiations. Quarterback was the exception when Ben Roethlisberger was with the team. The Steelers also gave wide receiver Antonio Brown an advance on future salaries before giving him a new contract in 2017 with a year left on his deal. "I understand I signed a contract last year," Hayward said, "but to be completely honest, when I signed, I told them when I have an All-Pro year, expect me to come back. You can look at the contract and see what it was." Everyone kind of giggled a little bit, but in my head, I used it as motivation to go out there and prove it. Hayward was named a first-team All-Pro for the 4th time in his career. He was selected for the Pro Bowl for the 7th time. The honors came in a year in which Hayward had 8 sacks and 11 pass breakups while playing in all 17 games. The previous year, Hayward was limited to 11 games because of a pectoral injury, and his sacks total dipped to 2. "When I was approached, I was asked to take a pay cut," Hayward said. "We ended up getting the deal done. When I look at the market and what I've done, it's hard to wrap my head around playing at a number where I'm not even half of what the rest of the market is." According to Spotrac.com, 18 defensive tackles are averaging $15 million per season. Of that number, 12 have an average salary of $20 million or more. Hayward is due a $12.95 million roster bonus in May 2026. One option would be for the Steelers to take part of that roster bonus and allocate it for this season in the form of a signing bonus. "I would definitely say that is something similar to what I'm thinking about," Hayward said. Hayward elected to discontinue practicing in team portions of drills when he saw negotiations toward a new contract not progressing. He said he spoke with General Manager Omar Khan on Thursday, and that he has had conversations with team president Art Rooney too. "I can't say I'm not disappointed with where we are," Hayward said. "I think it's pretty simple how it can be handled. I just wish I could be out there and not have to worry about this." Hayward was one of 15 healthy veterans and 23 players overall who did not dress for the preseason opener Saturday at Jacksonville. He didn't play at all in the 2024 preseason, and he logged just 10 snaps in the 2023 preseason. "Cam has been doing this a long time," Coach Mike Tomlin said. "I don't work Cam a lot in these scenarios anyway. I need to know more about Derek Harmon, Yahya Black, and others like Logan Lee. That's the mindset with how I've approached it." Defensive coordinator Terrell Austin pointed out that Hayward hasn't missed a team meeting, has taken reps on the blocking sled, and has worked with the team's younger defensive linemen in one-on-one drills. "I don't worry about Cam Hayward and him being ready," Austin said. "I don't give it a second thought." While the preseason status is unclear for Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, he will no doubt be active for the practices leading up to the start of the regular season. As the relationship between the Steelers and Rodgers continues to build, He would speak about the upcoming week of joint practices with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what he's looking forward to. With the joint practices leading to Pittsburgh's second preseason game against the Buccaneers, Rodgers is not only hoping for a clean practice, but also some new looks from head coach Todd Bowles, according to Chris Adamski. It no doubt seems like a breath of fresh air for Rodgers to play against another team. We went against Tampa a couple of years ago, and they had some veteran guys, and it was a pretty clean practice. So, hoping for another clean practice, Rodgers said. But it's good to go against a different team. I think what I said was remembering that you got a chance to go against non-vanilla defenses. So, hopefully Todd Bowles, you know he probably won't show everything, but he'll do some stuff that stresses our protection and give us a chance to get some film to work on. Steelers' Aaron Rodgers might not play the entire preseason. While Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin is comfortable with not playing Rodgers in the preseason, that was speaking about the first game, but there is a likelihood he doesn't play at all. When asked if he would ever consider not playing his starting quarterback in the preseason, he teased that it could be the case. You might be looking at one in 2025, Tomlin said. Hey, this guy has been doing this for 21 years. His cumulative snap total and what's required for him to be ready is different than others. And so, if I'm not adaptable and open to adjustments relative to the needs of our guys, then I'm not doing my job. And so you might be looking at one of those coaches in 2025. At 41 years old, Rodgers is looking to bounce back after a disappointing stint with the New York Jets, where he suffered an Achilles injury early into his first season with the team, as the second had not played up to par with his career. It remains to be seen if Rodgers plays in the preseason, but he'll make his team debut when Pittsburgh opens up the season, funny enough, against the Jets on Sunday, September 7th. The Pittsburgh Steelers and Miami Dolphins executed a blockbuster trade this offseason. Could they pull off another shocking deal? Bleacher Report's Brent Sobleski argued it's at least a possibility. Sobleski named 4 top trade packages involving Dolphins receiver Tyreek Hill on Monday. The BR analyst named the Steelers as one of them and proposed Pittsburgh acquire Hill for edge rusher Nick Herbig, along with 2026 4th and 7th round draft picks. Earlier this summer, the acquisition of wide receiver DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks created excitement, even with the team's previous uncertainty at quarterback, wrote Sobleski. Pittsburgh subsequently traded George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys, again creating a need for a legitimate number 2 target. By pairing Hill's blazing speed with Metcalf's physicality and Rodgers pulling the strings, the Steelers may have finally moved the needle and elevated their status as a legitimate contender. Could the Steelers pair Tyreek Hill with DK Metcalf? The Steelers trading for Hill would be about as shocking as when the team acquired DK Metcalf in March. When Pittsburgh traded for Metcalf, the team still had George Pickens on its roster. Pundits saw Metcalf and Pickens becoming a dangerous downfield pair of receivers for Aaron Rodgers in 2025. But in May, the Steelers sent Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys for 2026 draft capital. So, the Steelers again have a need at wideout according to most pundits. With Hill and Metcalf, the Steelers would again have 2 receivers capable of making big plays downfield. The team's top 2 receivers, though, would arguably be even more dangerous than it was supposed to be with Pickens. While Pickens has tremendous talent, Hill is a lot more seasoned. Hill led the NFL with 1,799 receiving yards and 13 touchdowns during 2023. He's made first-team All-Pro 5 times in his career. Metcalf has averaged 14.4 yards per catch in the NFL. His best statistical season was in 2020, when he posted 1,303 yards to make second-team All-Pro. With Hill on the roster, Calvin Austin, 3 could slide into the Pittsburgh number 3 receiver role. The team also wouldn't need to count on as much production from unproven commodities, such as Roman Wilson, and over-the-hill veterans like Robert Woods. Is Nick Herbig a Steelers trade candidate? In other trade proposals this offseason, pundits have suggested the Steelers could include a young receiver like Austin in a trade for a veteran such as Hill. Sobleski went in a different direction, including Herbig in the hypothetical deal for the 5-time first-team All-Pro. TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith are Pittsburgh's top 2 edge rushers. Both are signed through the 2027 seasons. On paper, that makes Herbig expendable. But it's not clear the Steelers feel that way. Pittsburgh used all 3 edge rushers on the field at the same time during 2024. The team could do that more often in 2025. Herbig started 5 games last season. While playing in 13 contests, he posted 5.5 sacks with 5 tackles for loss and 11 quarterback hits. The Steelers take great pride in their edge rushing depth. Generally, they want to win with defense leading the way. So, it seems unlikely they would be willing to give up Herbig. That may especially be the case with Herbig only 23 years old and inexpensive because of his rookie deal. Hill turned 31 this offseason and would give the Steelers 2 receivers, making at least $30 million on an average annual basis. Sobleski is correct. The trade would be another all-in move for the Steelers. It makes sense for Pittsburgh to make all-in moves since its starting quarterback is 41 years old. But trading Herbig for Tyreek Hill might be too short-sighted of a move even for aggressive general manager Omar Khan.